All right. Let's see. Looks like we're live. For those who hate Fox News, just put your differences aside just one time. Focus on the man that's talking. That is it. Put your political views aside. Put it all aside. Just listen to the man. Hear us out. Hear him out. It's not about right or left, wrong or right, black or white. None of that. This is about America coming together and figuring this thing out. This is the only man on television, the only anchor man / anchor woman / news / prostitute of lies I can actually take serious. I can sit here and intently watch it and maybe learn something. Actually learn something. Please give it a chance. Please. I try not to be a prick about things. I come off that way. I don't mean to. I really don't mean to at all. But just hear this guy out. He gets most of it. I think he knows more than what he wants or what he's allowed to say. But then again, I think Fox News is just a control. They tell you what we already know to make us feel a little less crazy and not make us go, actually do something about it, because Tucker is speaking the truth.
This moment in our history, what would you call it? Maybe the age of fraud. We're living in a time when the most powerful people in the world masquerade as the least powerful. A time when billionaires pose as helpless victims. Don't criticize Bill Gates. A time when a woman who literally identifies as the Duchess of Sussex from Canoga Park tells Oprah that she's oppressed, and then Oprah nods in empathy because Oprah's oppressed too. In a moment like this one, it's probably not too surprising that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez feels deeply sorry for herself.
He doesn't attack.
Ocasio-Cortez was elected to Congress at the age of 28 to be the longtime incumbent in a race that nobody thought she could win. Her previous job, famously, had been waiting tables and tending bar at a taco place in Union Square. Now, people made fun of that, but we haven't. Say what you will about Ocasio-Cortez's views, that is a legitimately impressive achievement. If your daughter did it, you'd be proud, honestly. But Ocasio-Cortez doesn't seem proud. She seems aggrieved. With every passing year, as her fame and power grows, she seems angrier and more brittle.
She does.
Within a month of arriving in Washington, Ocasio-Cortez had amassed a larger social media presence than any member of Congress in the first month. As of today, she's got 12.6 million Twitter followers.
That's a lot of power.
That's nearly twice as many as Nancy Pelosi has, and Pelosi's been doing this for half a century. So Ocasio-Cortez is one of the largest political megaphones on Earth. But she wants more than that. She now insists that not only should she be able to speak totally unfiltered to millions of people at once, but that nobody should be allowed to disagree with what she says. In February, her office sent an email to supporters asking them to report anyone who criticizes her to the tech monopolies for punishment. Quote, scan your social media to find posts with misleading information.
Banning it either.
Use the built-in report feature to flag them for moderators.
This is crazy.
Well, what is this? It's pretty straightforward.
This is news.
Really. Here you have one of the most
powerful January 6th again
in America, using the most January 6th companies in the world to censor her political opponents. That sounds like authoritarianism. And in fact, if it was happening in, say, Ghana, that's exactly what you'd call it. But since it's happening here in 2021, we don't call it that. We don't even notice it. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez isn't a power-mad demagogue. No. She's a vulnerable young woman trying to protect herself from assault. To disagree with her is to injure her. When the left-wing podcaster Jimmy Dore, who we're going to speak to in a moment, pushed Ocasio-Cortez to fight for a higher minimum wage, she accused him of a crime. That's violence, she wrote. So how do you protect yourself from violence?
They're going to come after Tucker.
And she has. Last week, Ocasio-Cortez sat for an interview on the Middle East.
That's what
At the age of 31, she is a much sought-after voice on every possible topic, from economics to the way society is designed to the details of complex.
She doesn't know. I know 10 times more than this woman. She's a senator.
She was asked,
10
how do
times
you
more
bring
intelligent than this
peace
woman.
between the Palestinians and the Israelis?
I could tear her up in
Here's what she
fucking
said.
debate any day with no practice,
Earlier
not even
just
knowing
now,
what the
you
debate
and I
that tear ass up.
were talking about the what and the how.
Yeah.
And I
sounds
think
like an idiot.
that when we talk about
in the hell?
establishing peace,
Yeah, what she meant before we should even go there
people's humanities,
is justifying the means of inaction. Okay, so let's say you get a cure for polio, but how did you get that cure for polio? Okay, did you have to cut up a bunch of Jewish people to figure that out, or you know what I'm saying? Did you have to do something bad to get to somewhere good? This is what she was trying to say. She's too stupid to understand what she can't even come up with a thought unless it's scripted. But yeah, just watch this. I'm sorry, she's very, very stupid, and I don't care that she's a Democrat or she could be Republican. I don't care. I would call her a fool still. Okay, red or blue does not matter. Color, skin does not matter. She's an idiot. She's an absolute embarrassment. Just watch.
protecting people's rights. It's not just about the what and the end goal, which often gets a lot of focus. But I actually think it's much more about the how and the way that we are coming together and how we interpret that what and how we act in the actions that we take to get to that what. We value Jewish and rather we value Israeli
Oh man, give me up on that stage,
the
guys.
safety
I'll make them all
and
those
human rights of Israelis. We value the safety and the human rights of Palestinians.
It went on like this. We could play the whole thing, but you get the idea. Centering people's humanity, protecting people's rights, blah, 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 blah. It was vapor.
Boom.
Now, if you were her mom or her college roommate or a close friend, you might give her a pass for what you just saw. It's pretty brave of her to weigh in on a subject she knows nothing about, you might think to yourself. That's the charitable view of that video. But if you were a sincere progressive and you were watching from home, hoping to be led by a leader, you would be deeply disappointed by that performance. This is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, after all, lioness of the left. So where was her full-throated defense of the Palestinians, of their rights? Where was truth to power? That was Ryan Wentz's reaction. Wentz is a man of the left. He's an anti-war activist in California. He watched, and he wasn't impressed, and he said so. On Twitter, Wentz wrote this, quote, "Her response was incredibly underwhelming, to say the least."
This is a Democratic point of view, guys.
That's what he wrote.
This guy is a
A
Democrat
week later,
who wrote this.
the police showed up at his house.
Boom.
2 plainclothes officers from